Hey, this video is for you if you struggle with staying focused on the stuff you know you kind of should be doing on guitar and you keep seeing loads of cool other stuff online. So now whether that's, if you're watching this, if you're in our membership and you're seeing all the cool stuff and you want to do masterclass and all that stuff, or you're like on YouTube, either following my stuff or other teachers' stuff, and whether this is YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you're getting it, the purpose of this video is to share a bit around how to try and stay focused on the work that needs doing the most in your playing journey. Okay, so real quick, I have plenty of stuff that I'm going to share, but first I just want to share that when I began guitar, I was the exact same. I literally, like any guitar stuff I could get my hands on, I'd read it, take it in, think it was cool, maybe apply some of it, maybe not. And at the time I had no guitar teacher. I went to violin lessons and I had a guitar book, which is around here somewhere, really old book. And I was trying bits of page 2, bits of page 22, bits of page 42, and maybe do more of that, and doing everything. And at the end of the day, I went to violin lessons, and my violin teacher, she also played a bit of guitar. So I kept updating her with what I was doing. And at the end of a lesson, I'd go, hey, I saw this cool thing. And then she'd go, that's nice. Do you know your A, D, and E chords yet? And I'd be like, I learned a bit of them, but I kind of did this other thing. So while she said, you need A, D, and E chords if you want to play guitar. And I was like, okay. Then the next week would come, and I'd go, I saw this thing called guitar tab. How does that work? And she'd say, did you learn A, D, and E? And I'd be like, oh, they're boring. Okay, I'll learn them. So I went off, and sure enough, like, I trusted what she said. And sure enough, in school, it was 1999, on the board I began to see her write A, D, and E, and the stuff she was telling me I needed to focus on first. Now, things have moved on, as you know, since 1999, but human nature is still the same. There's so much information out there, especially nowadays, and there's so much stuff trying to get your attention. And for example, you're watching this, you play guitar. The algorithms online know this, they're going to serve you guitar videos. And they're going to serve you stuff with thumbnails that will try and get your attention. And look, I put up content too. We all do it. But the key thing is to try and stay on the track that you're meant to be on for your own guitar journey. Now, what does that look like? Well, let's just say here, I didn't do art in school, that's for sure. Let's say here, this is us right now, in the now, and there's some future outcome. So the future outcome with music is you could want to play the open mic, you could want to play whatever song you want, you could want to have ear training, you could want to be better with theory, you could want to play bar chords. And these mini journeys can either be the entire journey of learning guitar, or this could be a little journey. Like that could be one journey of doing bar chords from here to here. Then this one could be the journey of adding in a few open chords, new ones. This could be the journey of learning to play and sing. And all these fit into your overarching journey on guitar, which would go from here to here. Okay, so all these little things add up. So whether you're on an overall journey or a side quest, as I'd call it, it requires you to figure out where you are right now and get crystal clear on what it is you want to do. Like, I want to be a brilliant guitar player is an outcome. It's quite vague, but I want to learn to play all 4 main bar chord shapes, and I want to be able to play them on acoustic and electric. Like, it's a lot more specific. So, the next thing. So we have this little journey. Now, ideally, like a train trip that leaves on time, that arrives on time, we would stay on the tracks. we would follow this. We'd have some stops along the way. As an example, if I said I want to learn 4 bar chords, this could be learning to make my first one. This could be adding it with some open chords. This could be where I know 3 bar chords. You know, there's many milestones along the way. But all along the journey, every day, you're battling everything else that's trying to get your attention. And I'm the exact same. It's not with guitar, but it's with like online stuff on how to grow our guitar school here. Like my battle is there's a now and a future, and then there's all this other stuff on the side trying to get my attention, you know? So it's the same no matter what you ever want to do. And on the side, we've stuff like Instagram, we've stuff like TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. And within each of these, there's any amount. Like TikTok, I don't know about you, but I could flick through 100 TikTok videos in a couple of minutes, easily. And it scatters us. And at the end of the day to day, this is how it is for many of us, myself included. We're investing our time into things. So you can invest time into consuming some YouTube videos. That's where your attention has now gone. And maybe or maybe not, there's going to be action as a result of where you placed your time and attention. But the danger is that we often get dopamine spikes and hits from taking in new cool information. So it's like, that was cool. That makes sense. Wow, that sounds like a really cool thing to do. And then another video pops up or we get busy and we have this information swirling around, but are we taking action on it? And by the way, just in case, I'm not up here on a pedestal at all saying that I have this figured out. I battle with this day to day, just not with guitar, because I don't be looking up guitar videos, but it's the same. I've talked to people who are into fitness, people who are into business, people who are into guitar. It's the same. So that's why I want to share this today. Now, so that's where it is. Oftentimes, we mightn't consider where we're putting our time, our attention, and our action. Where ideally, long term, we want to be training our minds to be action orientated. Or actually, I'm going to flip that around actually. I'm going to put attention. I was debating this before the start, but I'm going to actually do this here in the now. Because I was like, you know, where you put your action first and then you keep your attention on it. But thinking about it now, you gotta be conscious of where you place your attention. So if I'm looking to improve my bar chords and I know that or if I'm starting out and I know I need to get my first 3 to 5 chords under my belt and a strum pattern, my attention needs to go there. It needs to be on what are those 5 chords? And I need to keep my attention long enough to take action on it. And by taking the action, time fits at the end of this equation then. So instead of unconsciously having our time go in many different places, we focus our attention, we put it into one place, we take action, and we rack up the time. And long term, that's going to help. Because at the end of the day, we need to know 3 things. The first thing we need to know is as follows. I'll flip this back. There we go. What to do. Okay, what do we need? The next thing we need to do is know how to do it. We need to know what we're doing. We need to know how to do it, how to practice it. And we need to know when we can move on. So as an example of these 3, I'll give 1 or 2 for context. If I'm starting out, what do I need to focus on? I need to focus on getting 3 to 5 chords sounding clear, changing quickly between them. Then how do I do that? I do a clear chord check on those chords. I pick the strings one at a time and I do chord change drills between the 2 chords. When do I know to move on? I know to move on when they sound clear, when I can produce them on demand, and when I can change roughly 10 chord changes to 12 chord changes in a minute. See how precise that is? Because the easy thing to do is become a chord collector and be able to play a ton of different shapes, but maybe not change between them or not have songs for them. That's really common. I did the same because it's fun to learn new things and it's fun to learn chords. Okay, I'll pick a more advanced one. Okay, what are you focused on? Let's say you're focused on playing at an open mic. That's the what. How do you focus on that? Well, you pick 1 to 3 songs and you get focused on getting them to sound coherent, making them into performance mode. And if you haven't already seen the video, the 5 pillars of progress, that's a cool one to check out for this. And you basically drill those songs. No new songs, no new chord shapes, no making the songs fancy or anything. Just get the songs as they are. Focus on getting them to completion. And for example, playing 1 to 2 songs back to back as well if it's for an open mic. When do you know to move on? Well, you could perform in front of friends. You could do a 1-to-1 performance for a friend. You could do 1-to-many for a friend. And then you could perform in front of strangers in a smaller venue, like at a party. Then you could do the open mic. There's steps to this. But the key thing is knowing the what, the how, and the when. And putting your attention in it, your action, and the time. Now, one more thing. You may be looking at this going, Dave, that's cool, but I really enjoy looking up tons of different guitar stuff, and I don't want to stop that because I think that's what keeps me interested in guitar as well. It's all the cool different stuff that I know is out there. Okay, this is why I'm going to say, don't stop what you're doing. Just consider reducing the amount of it you do. This is why we have the now focus. Okay, so like for example, if you're meant to learn G, E minor, D, and C, and this could be bar chords, could be open chords, or maybe you're focused on finger picking, patterns. Well, decide how much time you'd spend on those per day. Like for example, 30 minutes per day is a nice amount. And then for them to have more fun, I'm not saying these are more fun, but to have even more fun, got to be careful with the language. What you could do then is reward yourself with going online and going, you know what, I'm going to have a look on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And the important thing here is write down the cool stuff that you liked and save it for again. I have a system on my own laptop here, and I can't share my screen here like this, but like basically for the School of Guitar to make it work, I need to produce content. I need to find a way to share a lot of free stuff with people, and I need a way to be able to make an offer to students who want to work and come and join our community. And then when somebody joins our community, I need to be able to check in with everybody to be sure they feel good, they're doing okay, and they're having a good time, and that they're learning stuff. Like that's when it comes to the School of Guitar, those are my only 4 areas of focus. Now, what happens if I go online and on TikTok something pops up in my feed? I actually have it deleted now actually because I have to delete it in between the live streams. It's just too addictive, but I'll use Instagram. But something cool comes up on Instagram about creating a new way of doing content. Now, what I do is I have 4 folders on my laptop for each of these 4 areas. And if something catches my attention, I drag and drop it into that folder. So I don't need to try and learn it. I don't need to put pressure on myself to take action on it because it will take away. Like my focus right now is inside our community. If I start focusing on creating viral content to beat the band sort of stuff, that's going to take my focus off the other 3 areas. And for you on guitar, if you're looking up like slide guitar or bar chords again, and you're meant to be working on open chords, well, put the bar, if something catches your attention, save it, bookmark it, put it aside for later, but come back to the work that means the most to you and that you should be doing. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you like this way of me explaining. I just find it, I don't want to be here on, I don't want to be saying to you, I do this guitar stuff online when I don't, because I don't anymore. I did a long time ago before YouTube came about. But yeah, but I hope that makes sense. So you could make your list here and do the fun stuff. Now, the important thing about this is this needs to be a fraction of the time you spend here, because this is what matters. So if you spend 30 minutes here like spending 10 minutes here is good, you know. And then there's slightly the environment thing too. Like if you've done your work and you've practiced some guitar and then you're outside of the house away from your guitar traveling, is it a wrong thing to be looking up guitar stuff online? No, it's not, because it's keeping your interest alive and everything. But the key thing is to take action on the stuff you need to. All right, so to recap this run through, do this one more time. We had our timeline, and we have an overall guitar journey timeline, and that's made up of mini timelines, mini journeys, mini now to future desires. And the distractions along the way, these are the main things that distract us online. Of course, there's personal responsibilities, but I'll just speak to online right now. And we can be pulled off. So if I'm here and I go to Instagram, then I go to TikTok for a while, then I go up to YouTube, then I go back to TikTok, then I go to Instagram, Facebook, then maybe I'll wander back here half in a daze going, Jesus, where was I? I think I was here. And now we've missed this really important step. So keep an eye, and it doesn't have to be, it can be just a fraction of your time. Have fun with it. It's still good to look up guitar stuff. Just be sure you're in your now focus. The three things when you are focusing is what you need to be doing, how to do it, and when you can move on to the next thing. So that way you won't get bored spending too much time on the same thing, and you won't move forward too fast and get lost. Finally then, we had the day-to-day. The day-to-day, oftentimes we'll spend time unconsciously on the apps, and our attention will be scattered, and that'll lead to scattered action. But if we consciously direct our attention to what we need to focus on now, with an action item, knowing what to do, and time is invested rather than lost, that really helps in the long term. The last thing, there's this great book. It's called The One Thing. It's one of my favorite books. It's a New York Times, it's a bestseller and all the things. But it talks about that principle. It's to keep the main thing, the main thing. And I'll leave you with this. I went to a talk once of a marathon runner. Jerry Duffy is his name. He's an Irish dude. And he shared a story. It was really good. And this guy did, at the time I was training to do 10 marathons in 10 months. I had a huge marathon phase back in 2015. And I went to Jerry's talk, and he shared that for his marathon training, he did 32 in 32 days around Ireland. He basically had heard this story and it inspired him. And I think it's valid for guitar players too. And it was the story, I think, of the Great Britain rowing team. They had lost some Olympics very narrowly. And when it came to the next Olympics, for the 4 years, their coach gave them one question. And it was, will this make the boat go faster? So whatever they did in their day-to-day lives, it was, the question was, like for example, if I was on their team and I was going to crack open a tin of Ben & Jerry's, or I was going to like go out on the beer for a few nights, the question might be, will this make the boat go faster? No, it won't. So, you know, it was, and it disciplined them. Now, of course, that's Olympics 4 years stuff. But even taking a little bit of that and adding it into your guitar journey to ask yourself, will this make my guitar journey move faster? Or will this make my chords go faster? Will this make my finger picking work better? Just those questions can be powerful. Hope you enjoyed this. And the notes, if you want the notes, if you're inside our community, of course you get access to them below. They'll be in the comments. All right, thanks for watching. And if you have any questions or follow-up questions, be sure to ask. Happy to talk more of this stuff. Have a great day.